Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to NS9 Live. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, of course, we have Jim. We have Tyler. What is up, everybody?
What's going on?
Pirates didn't lose that.
That they did not.
2 days in a row.
Can we make it 3?
Let's do it. Why not?
Why not? But happy first week over of baseball. We are now officially a week in. It's crazy to think about that, but we are. And the Pirates are 2-5.
2-5, last place. Playoff odds are down to 11.3%. It's not ideal. But hey, you know what? It could be worse. You could always be the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah. Imagine starting Bryan De La Cruz on your team.
Yeah. Starting right fielder Bryan De La Cruz for the Atlanta Braves. For your 0-7 Atlanta Braves.
That's rough.
How about no team has ever made the postseason starting 0-7? I have a feeling Atlanta's going to figure it out, though. That's a pretty good team.
I'll say, though, tough division, though. Like, you got the Mets, you got the Phillies. The Marlins are winning games.
Against the Pirates.
And the Mets.
They won one game against the Mets.
Yeah. Yeah, they're winning games.
We're 3-1 as the Lisbon Blue Devils, so I'm in a good mood.
Look at that.
Shout out to Tyler.
Was it Northeast Ohio, 2021 Northeast Ohio
2023, thank you very much.
Assistant pitching coach of the year?
No, it's the 2023 Northeast Ohio High School Baseball Coaches Association Assistant Coach of the Year.
Do you have a trophy for that? Like, did you get a trophy, like a plaque?
No, I kind of wanted a plaque though. Like,
you should just make one yourself and just have it as have it all written out.
Yeah,
say they don't make plaques big enough. That was the problem.
Yeah, I forgot what division. It's Division 4. And
okay,
yeah, it's a very long word. Yeah. But I do want to have a plaque made just so I can hang it behind me.
You know who deserves a plaque? Alex Stumpf. He's here tonight. We'll be bringing him on here in just a minute. He's finally back in Pittsburgh. He's been in Florida for like eight weeks, basically.
I know.
So
I also can't relate.
Yeah.
It's gotta be tough.
It's gotta be tough. Gotta be tough. So he'll be coming on with us here any minute. Lots of topics to discuss. David Bednar sent down to the minors. Alexander Canario traded for. G1 Bay optioned. Jason Delay DFA traded away. We got some.
Can we have a moment of silence,
Thomas
please?
Harrington's debut. We got a lot of stuff to cover. And the home opener tomorrow. Vibes should be high. Home opener tomorrow.
But fellas, I'm sad. That's my catcher. I mean, come on, Jason Delay, like to the Braves now. That's the catalyst. I mean, I'm just going to say it right now. The Braves make the playoffs, like you're alluding to here, Jim. It's because of Jason Delay.
Jason Delay could turn the whole thing around. You're right.
And again, if the Pirates don't, it's because they got rid of Jason Delay. No, kudos to him. Best of luck to him. You're an MLB catcher for some team out there, not the Pirates, and I get it. But
he's probably not, though. He's still probably a AAA catcher or like a AA catcher.
I disagree.
I actually hate the fact that I kind of side with DiNardo here.
We're not going to say that. Yeah, Bay sent to Indy. Thank you, Penn. But yeah, let's do we want to go ahead and jump into this? Bring Alex on. I said he's not going to be on the whole show. Not going to be on the whole show, but he'll be on for 15 minutes or so. We really want to just talk about what's going on right now with Alex, and then we'll spend the rest of the show discussing all the topics that we just covered. So.
Yeah, I'm all for bringing on Alex. However, I see behind the curtains right now, and Alex isn't on camera, so I don't know if that's happening right now.
Yeah, Alex, are you there?
There he is.
There he is. What's up, Alex?
What's up? I don't know what happened to my camera there. Sorry about that.
Actually, can you shut that back off? It was way better.
Yeah, I got it.
Perfect. Oh, beautiful.
And hey, Alex Stumpf, MLB.com, Pirates beat writer. Hey, we're a week into the season, Alex. Pirates are 2-5. How are just vibes right now? How are you sensing vibes amongst the team, the fan base, your readers, your mentions? How are things going?
Well, the mentions and the readers and the sky is falling, right? That's the vibe online. In the clubhouse, I didn't go to the Tampa series, but players were understandably bummed, upset after that Marlins series. Vibe I've gotten, from people around the organization is it's early, and 1 week doesn't dictate a whole season, but could have gone better.
One person it could have gone better for is David Bednar. Just a rough season last year, coming off. I mean, he was arguably the team's best player for multiple years. He was a multi-time All-Star closer. Last year struggles. Spring training went through some struggles, and then he couldn't have had a worse start to this season in terms of his output. Did that come as a surprise to you to see him, basically, was it 4 games in, sent to the minors?
I was a bit surprised. Whenever you work backwards, you don't want to DFA a pitcher early in the year if you could avoid it, just because you're always going to need arms. So that left him with only 4 potential options who could be optioned. One is Paul Skeens, which obviously will not happen. So that left you with Majinski, Holderman, Bednar. Holderman, I know it's been a rough start to the regular season. He had a really good spring training, and I've heard that around here. Like, they were really impressed with what he showed in Bradenton. And yeah, it was a crappy first week of the regular season, but you can't completely discount what he did for, the 6 weeks prior to that. Bajinski earned the number 5 starter job out of spring training. Then you've got Bednar, who I had heard concerns coming into, the regular season. Like, there's a lot of faith that he could turn it around, but he's pitching naked with 1 pitch out there. Like, the fastball is still really good, but the splitter's not playing. The curveball's not landing in the zone. He's out there with 1 pitch. And I think that's why you see, Marlins homer on pitches at the letters. The one save that he did convert, the last pitch was a fastball at the eyes, and you could tell the guy just saw fastball and he was going at it. Now, is that a tipping problem? I haven't gotten a straight answer. I think it's more just he isn't locating the secondary pitches. And if he can do that at Indianapolis, I think we'll see him back up in the major leagues and he could have more success. But right now, he can't just live on a 96-mile-per-hour fastball in the upper part of the zone. The Marlins, of all teams, showed they can catch up to it.
Yeah, I know you weren't in Tampa, but you've obviously been around these players for a really long time. It's one thing that we've been preaching and yelling for years now is accountability. Is this a move that the locker is going to kind of shake the locker room a little bit and be like, wow, if David Bednar's job is on the line, then anybody's job is on the line? Is it something where you think this team will kind of look at this and be like, it's time to put up or shut up? Or is it more, does everybody kind of recognize, he's probably not himself, he needs to get better? What's kind of your read there?
I think it could be both. I mean, it is a put up or shut up year. It is a year where the expectation is to win, and Bednar had not been pitching up to the standard that he had in the past, the standard that the Pirates need for a leverage reliever. So that all factors into it in this case. I'm interested to see if it does impact the clubhouse, like you said. Like, well, damn, if David's getting sent down, I got to produce also. But I feel like a lot of this team is so they've got a couple guys who are just carrying right now that a good chunk of that clubhouse knows I've got to do more than what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah. They did make another move. Alexander Canario acquired from the Mets for cash. G1 base sent down. Tell us what you know about Canario, what the team saw in him. What are they excited about with Canario?
Toolsy, corner outfielder, someone who it never hurts to take a flyer on one of these guys, especially whenever you're optioning Bay, who I don't know what he really brings to this team that they need on April 3rd at the moment. Like, yeah, if you need a speedster, a defensive replacement, a left-handed pinch hitter, those are all admirable traits, but that's more, in my opinion, what you need in September compared to April. This kid is someone who was never really considered a top-of-the-line prospect, but had been quietly producing in the minor leagues, has some good tools, has some pop, can run a little bit. It's one of those, for lack of a better comp, at least from what I heard, it's kind of like whenever they kick the tires on like an Anthony Alford from a couple years ago, which in one sense, you're like, okay, they're still doing this. But on the other sense, it's like, if you think you have an uncovered gem, it doesn't matter really what year it is. There's an obvious bench spot that's open right now. Going to be interesting to see how much, opportunity he gets here, because there's kind of an outfield opening until Bryan Reynolds, his form clears up and he gets playing time.
Yeah. Let's talk about the injuries real quick. Lots of injuries to discuss. So Bryan Reynolds hurt, can't play in the outfield right now, so he's limited to DH duties. Andrew McCutchen, that relegates him to the bench for a few games. Then you've got Jones still without touching a baseball. Horwitz coming back. Nick Gonzales in a boot. What are we looking at as far as timetables? Let's kind of discuss. Let's talk about Reynolds a little bit. Any word on just, like, I know Tomzik talked yesterday, but like, is this something that's going to linger for a while? Is Kutch going to maybe play some outfield? What do you think there?
Forms are tricky, so I don't really have a timeline for right now. Theoretically, could see him in the field sooner rather than later. It could be something that lingers and he just needs to hit more. It might be something that you just have to manage throughout the course of a season and just build in more DH days. I think it's reasonable to think, Kutch might play a little outfield, in the interim. Right field at PNC Park is probably the lead.
See you, Alex.
See, Alex.
I think he was about to say that right field in PNC Park is the least taxing position as far as outfield goes. We'll wait.
He looks so much better right now, though.
I was gonna say we'll wait until Alex gets back. As far as other injuries, from what I've read, Spencer Horwitz is taking batting practice right now. Next step is to go against live pitching, which means he's not far from a rehab assignment. Like that's kind of what it comes up to there. So I think that's good news for Horwitz. We haven't really seen any sort of we haven't seen any bumps in his rehab. Yep, I don't know where Alex is at now. Jared Jones, as far as the latest update. Oh, Alex just texted me. Let's see what he's got to say. Yeah, give me a minute. That was followed by a swear word, but he said, "Give me a minute." But no, until Alex gets back here, let's talk a little bit about the injuries. Like I said, Jones 3 weeks in to his injury, plyo balls if all things go correct. Nick Gonzales also in a walking boot. I saw, so non-weight bearing. So that's no fun. We do have Alex back. There we go. A little bit different. Alex, are you with us?
I'm back. I'm sorry about that. My computer just decided right then and there without warning that it needed to restart. So
hey, it's live. It is live shows. This is what happens. Yeah,
that's right.
And I love the
Get
name.
you in the top 4, for Pirates podcast.
Exactly. That's what makes it the top 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or number 4, right?
Well,
no, but going back to what Tomzik was saying, Reynolds, again, you were mentioning if Kutch can play the field, right field's probably going to be the easiest spot for him. But shifting focus to Gonzales and Horowitz, what are we looking at their timelines for right now?
Horowitz, it looks like in the next week and a half or so, he's going to be starting to ramp up a little bit. He obviously missed all of spring training. He just, I don't know. It's got to just take some time. He's not going to be afforded the full 6 weeks, and obviously a wrist can linger for a bit. So there are obviously some red flags that you have to navigate through to make sure you don't fall into a pitfall. Gonzales, they're kind of in the waiting game right now. From what I gathered, this isn't like Oneil Cruz's injury. This isn't going to be something where he's out the whole year or anything. It's, at least from what I've gathered, this is an injury that you and me maybe had at some point in our lives. The non-displaced fracture, and we're like, wow, I just feel crappy, but you go through it because you're not a professional athlete, and it eventually heals on its own. So
Now speak for yourself.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. Well,
I'd hit a dinger off of Kyle Hendrick, but whatever.
Fine. I mean, that's why you're the Lipson assistant coach of 2023, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Division 4, thank you very much.
2024? Okay. I was calling you washed beforehand, so that's better.
We'll see in Bradenton next year.
Yeah, we'll see. So it's an injury that's going to take some time. It's pretty telling that they were willing to designate Jason DeLay rather than move Nick Gonzales to the 60-man IL to add Harrington to it. So I think that gives a timetable of this could be, he can come back sooner rather than later, but they're still waiting for more information.
That's good perspective. I didn't think about it that way, but yeah.
Yeah. That is true. Like, they had the option to move Gonzales to the 60-day and they didn't. So that I guess is good news when it comes to that. Thomas Harrington made his debut. Didn't go according to plan, I don't think. Didn't go according to his plans, didn't go according to our plans. What did you see out of him though in that debut outing? And is he going to stick around a little bit?
Looks like he's going to stick around a little bit, maybe in a bullpen role right here. I don't see how you can run a 6-man rotation with all these off days built in at the moment. Derek Shelton told reporters in Tampa that Majinski's going to stick in the rotation. Harrington, a big part of the success, lies in the changeup, lies in the slider, and I don't think he really had either one of those pitches in his debut. Obviously, he had a little bit of a longer break between outings where you can throw on the backfields. Doesn't really mean the same. He didn't have a whole lot of game reps in spring training also. It was a lot of backfield stuff, and I think Andrew Heaney kind of showed that you need live, hitters to give you feedback also. You can't just pitch sim games and be like, okay, well, that's about where it was. He came up a little sooner than I think anyone had planned whenever he didn't break camp with the team. Maybe he is rushed a little bit at the moment, but I think he can get major league hitters out. And I'm very high on his upside in general. I think he could be a number 3, number 4 major league starter, which in this rotation, potentially could be like a number 5 in a year or so. But it's a lot of good parts of his game. I think he just had some jitters, which is very understandable for a first major league start.
Yeah. Home opener tomorrow. How many years is this of you covering the home opener?
6 full-time. I did some freelance beforehand, but I kind of view that as BC at this point.
So you've got so you've been covering every Ben Cherington home opener.
That crossed my mind a while ago because I just took like a selfie, like I think for opening day. I'm like, year 6. This is, and then I'm like, I hope they know that's my year 6 and not Ben Cherington's year. Me going like, can you believe this?
So you're the problem.
I'm the problem.
That's what I found ironic. You said BC. I'm like, that's literally Ben Cherington.
Ben Cherington, year 6 BC. Yep.
Bring back justice.
But there's some. I've heard rumblings. There's going to be a plane circling the field tomorrow, saying "Sell the team, Bob." I can't imagine. I can't imagine this fan base is too excited with how some of these players are playing. It is still opening day though, and it's a celebration. So I want to believe that like vibes are going to be high, but I don't know. What are you thinking? Are there going to be like boos rained down upon this team during introductions, or is it going to be generally positive, you think?
I mean, first of all, you got to believe. That's just, mantra in general. No,
And you guys need to keep believing.
I don't think we're going to hear a bunch of boos or whatever, or like, I don't know, maybe if some certain individuals are introduced, there might be some boos, but for the most part, like Kutch will get his at-bats, he'll get his standing ovation, Mitch Keller will get his ovation, Skeens, Jones, those guys, whenever they line up. I get the frustration with a lot of people. I think for the most part, though, the frustration, at least the way I see it online, is with the higher ups in the front office and coaching staff rather than the players. I could have Paul Skeens, like he flat out said, like we have to do better than the 2013 wild card is the best chapter of recent Pirates baseball, and fan base was like, yep, he could say it. There's enough guys right there. It's like, well, it's not Skeens' fault, it's not Keller's fault, it's not Reynolds or Kutch or whatever for a lot of these guys. So I think the frustration is.
Alex, real quick, what's your prediction on the Derek Shelton entrant or announcement? Just when they announced Derek Shelton as manager, is it going to be heavy boos?
I wouldn't describe it as heavy.
Okay.
I'm sure there'll be a smattering else because there normally is. It's all the same.
Good stuff.
Fair enough.
Before we let you go, Oneil Cruz. It's been a kind of a Jekyll and Hyde. Heckle and Jive. What the hell am I saying? It's been a Jekyll and Hyde. It's been a Jekyll and Hyde type season so far. Like the 2 games the Pirates have won, it's like they wouldn't have won without Oneil Cruz. And then it's the other games that they've lost. I don't know if they would have lost them, without Oneil Cruz either. What's his leash like in center field? I mean, he's sitting at -3 defensive runs saved, -2 outs above average. Like, does he have a really, really long leash to just kind of figure it out there, or is it possible to get to a point here within a matter of a week or two where it's like we can't continue with this?
He has a long leash out there. The best version of this team has Oneil Cruz as an impact player and as a center fielder. There really isn't much of a contingency plan, behind him. Behind him, it's like Suwinski or Pham or maybe Bay if you call him back up from Indy. He's not going back to shortstop. He can't go to DH because you got Kutch there, and Kutch is probably going to have to be playing some outfield because Reynolds is hurt. So there really is no real backup plan. Besides, it's just going to be one of those, you've got to figure this out. And for what it's worth, I think he will. Oneil Cruz has a drive to be great. He wants to be great. I know it's been a frustrating start, to watch him play center field out there. He's not satisfied with it either. He's not half-assing this. He wants to be a great player, and defense is part of that equation. I think he still can be a great player. I said at in spring training, I thought he had a chance to be a Gold Glove candidate. I still do. It's just going to be an uphill climb. We saw too many good things in that brief sample size last year to think, okay, he's got no shot at this. So he'll have to figure it out. They're going to give him plenty of opportunities. They're not going to, pull him off the position anytime soon. If it doesn't get better, it's going to be an interesting couple of months, though.
Yeah. Well, Alex, appreciate you joining us on one of your first days back in Pittsburgh. Go enjoy your off day. And good luck in the home opener tomorrow. Hopefully it's a good game. And where can everybody find your work? Where do we need to send everybody?
Well, Pirates.com is where you should be reading everything.
There you go.
But I whatever the BlueSky handle is, it's Alex J. Stumpf. Same on the old Twitter.
And the newsletter.
There you go.
And the newsletter. You gotta read the newsletters right there. I mean, don't be a real.
And click the link in the newsletter.
That's right. They're gonna break my kneecaps if you don't. So
we don't want that.
No.
We don't need you, and we don't need you on the IL either. Being part of the Todd Tomzik press conference.
I appreciate Tyler just
no.
being completely deadpan at the threat of physical violence towards me.
No, I was just sitting there thinking about how much I enjoy Noah's like recaps every day.
I was just going to say, I think Saxboy could create some really, really good content with Alex in a wheelchair because he has 2 broken knees.
Also, Alex thinks that
like I envision like an ET scenario where Alex is like on the front of his bike.
That would be great content.
Ouch.
I'm kind of.
I would like that.
Yes.
All right. Thanks again, Alex. Alex Stumpf from MLB.com. Appreciate you. And happy home opener tomorrow.
Happy home opener, everyone.
All right. See you, Alex.
Adios. Cool.
I'm really
fellas,
glad the 4th best beat writer could join us.
for the 4th best Pirates podcast.
It's a good little
Match
beat
made in
writer.
heaven.
He's a good little beat writer.
Fellas. No, I mean let's dive in a little bit here. Let's talk about some things. I'm going to start off with, of course, the race series. We had our first week. We didn't really get to dive too much into that as of yet. Of course, at least the 3 of us. What are we thinking about this team? Like, I just say this because, again, like Alex said, like the sky's falling. And take a step back. It's been 7 games, right? But like, are we kind of alarmed right now? Is it just like, hey, it's just 7 games? Like, how are you guys kind of feeling right now after these first? We'll say, like, forget the race series, just the 2 series in general.
Not good.
Ty.
Yeah, I mean, not great. Obviously, only 7 games, but it's certainly not encouraging anything we've seen. And the main part is just offensively. They've been terrible. They're really bad offensively. I think you like a lot of what you see out of the pitchers right now. I think for the most part, other than Bednar and Holderman, the bullpen's been solid. It's just the bats, and it's what we talked about all offseason. There's not enough talent here. They got to fight, claw, scratch, everything just to score a run. And it will improve. These guys are not 500 OPS types of guys. At the very least, they're not good, but there's more in there. They just got to hit, man. That's really what it's going to come down to. They got to.
Have these 7 games moved your perception of this team at all?
I don't have much optimism right now. I'll be honest with you. I just don't, because I think you were hoping for a lot more out of the guys we're not seeing much from. I think maybe, like, I like what we've seen on Jack Suwinski, I like what we've seen out of Oneil Cruz. IKF, he's played well so far. I think maybe we wanted a little bit more out of like a Bryan Reynolds, like a Brian Hayes, and I think they'll steadily climb, but man, there's just not enough actual talent in this lineup. And that makes it difficult to really be optimistic.
I think the main problem is, you mentioned it's 7 games, and you can look at it a few ways. Yeah, it's 7 of 162, but it's not 7 games. Like, the same things that we're seeing in these 7 games are the same things that we expected coming into the season. And it's the same stuff that we saw towards the second half of last season too. So it's like, is it only 7 games? Kinda, sorta,
Right.
but not really. That I think that's my issue here. I would be a lot more optimistic. Like, a 2-5 road trip isn't the worst thing in the world. Like, if you have a 2-5 road trip in July or a 2-5 road trip in June, it just kind of gets lost in the shuffle of an entire season. You have a 2-5 road trip to start the year. One of those in a 4-game series against the team that you should be superior to. That's where, we are going to overreact a little bit to stuff. But again, I think I would feel more comfortable if it was something along the lines of, it wasn't exactly what we expected. Like, if it wasn't the offense completely falling flat every game, if it wasn't David Bednar and Colin Holderman blowing up every time that they have a lead or in a close game late in the late innings. Like that's where it's alarming, because if just a couple things, like you were like, okay, you know what, there's still a different feeling, but like let's say if Bailey Falter had blown up his first start, or if Mitch Keller had given up 6 runs in 4 innings, I wouldn't really be all that concerned. Like I'd still feel fine. But the fact that like the starting pitching did exactly what we expected the starting pitching to do. They had a really good first time through. Paul Skeens was incredible in his last start against Tampa Bay. But it's the other stuff. Nothing that like you needed to happen as far as the other stuff goes has shown any glimpse of happening. David Bednar did not get better. Colin Holderman's not better. The offense is not better. Brian Hayes is hitting the ball harder. I'm a little encouraged there, but the results aren't there. Jared Triolo not hitting the ball hard. Joey Bart not hitting the ball hard. First base, whatever's happening there, it's a mess. Your best hitter, your leading RBI guy is Adam Frazier. Isiah Kiner-Falefa is going into yesterday was the only player on the team with a positive WAR. Like those are problems. Tommy Pham looks very much like an old person who can't play this game anymore. Jack Suwinski hasn't had a good start. G1 Bay just looks completely lost. Like he doesn't even know how to play the game of baseball. So it's just all the stuff that we knew that was going to be a problem was a problem. And so that's where it's still like there's red flags going off, because it's not like we're the Braves and it's like, oh, well, you know, this is kind of a fluky start. Like this doesn't really seem like a fluky start, because everything that we're seeing is exactly what we expected to see.
Yeah.
Just maybe amplified a little bit.
That's sort of a good way to sum it up. And again, like I know it's 7 games and it is just 7 games, right? But like of those 7 games, this is what we were talking about coming into the season. That's why we were discouraged. Like it could be better. And they're just essentially doing what we envision. I mean, of course, maybe more extremes, right? Like I don't envision everyone being this bad altogether, right? They'll get better. It is just 7-game sample. But again, like you're seeing like the flaws of the offense. It's tremendous. It's not that good. But at any rate, I will say this though. I am kind of impressed with Brian Hayes so far. I know it hasn't been falling, but he's looked good. Like the eye test is kind of coming up a little bit today for me.
That's where I'm at with Jack Suwinski too. I know Jim gotta I like his at bat so far. I'm sorry, I do. I know the strikeout rate's up.
I would say striking out,
but really it's
40.
It's like 1 game
at a time, something like that. Now
he had a bad game. Like for the most part, I've liked everything he's done.
I really liked his first game. I mean, his first game in Miami, especially getting the rob of the home run there too. But like he looked really good at the plate.
If that ball goes over the wall, we're talking. It's a completely different conversation.
I don't know if it really is.
It probably is.
I don't because again, like the strikeouts. Again, like he had that really good, but then he's been striking out a lot since, and it's like, we need to see more of it. There's some things that have been encouraging about him, but there's also some things that's like, well, this is the same old Jack. So once things normalize, maybe we'll get a better understanding of who he is this year. But I mean, also, I'll give you this: has been encouraging things from him.
Like, I mean, last year around this time, Jim was telling me that Henry Davis was hitting the ball hard, while I was saying that he stunk. So,
yeah, but I think it's more than just hitting the ball hard. But I'll say this: let's transition off of Jack. Okay. Let's go to Oneil, because a guy who does look really different this year to me is Oneil Cruz. Now, I understand he's still on 6 bases. You can also throw in there that was Miami really trying to throw guys out, right? So it kind of is what it is. The fact is he was being aggressive and he attempted 6 times. And he's been successful in all 6, which I think date back to his last time he was thrown out was April 23rd, I believe, of last year. 26 of 26 since then. Just unbelievable. And, you know, that's when we talked about this year coming into it. Like, he might steal a lot of bases, probably more than home runs, I said. And, like, he is showing that. And he also has 2 home runs on the year also. But he is walking. He is striking out less. Like, his different identity, like, his zone recognition right now, I feel, is just tremendous. This
He's
is not
locked
the
in.
same guy last year.
You can tell he's locked in. Like he's laying off breaking balls that are missing the plate by an inch or two. Like he is seeing pitches really well. He's recognizing those breaking balls. He's laying off those pitches, whereas before he would have chased those. And yeah, I mean he's striking out at a 23% clip now. He's walking at a 20% clip. Now a lot of that is based on that one game where the Marlins were like, we're not going to let you beat us, but it still counts. And when he is making contact, it's hard contact.
I just want to interject there too, because like I feel like the old Oneil would say, I got to make something happen instead of allowing it to come to him. So even though you're saying like, they that game or whatever, I feel like Oneil wouldn't have allowed that to happen. So I still 100%. Give him some credit there. Now the last, I mean, he was at intentionally walked, I think the last time or close to it. So like that, of course not, but still.
No, he has looked like a different player at the plate. Like just absolutely locked in, hitting the ball hard, getting on base. And when he is getting on base, I mean, 6 steals and 7 bases. Like, what's the ceiling here? How many's like he's basically stealing second every time he gets on first. Is this just going to continue?
20?
Is he gonna steal 100 bags this year? Because that's what he's on pace to do. He's on pace for like 140 steals. I mean, at some point he's got to slow down a little bit, I think. But yeah, like what's the ceiling on Oneil Cruz stolen bases? He hasn't been thrown out yet. So just keep taking them.
Yeah, Cody mentioned in the comments about how much he's matured, and that's what you really do see, like the maturity at the plate from Oneil Cruz. And DiNardo, I think you hit the nail on the head with what he would have done in the past. He would have been trying to hit the 7-run home run.
7-run. Yeah.
And I mean, he hasn't had much, really any success against the lefties so far, but I've liked the at-bats against the lefties too. I've liked basically everything I've seen out of Oneil Cruz at this point offensively and on the bases. God, he's terrible in center field right now. He is terrible out there. But to be fair, to kind of point to the maturity, he's not allowing that to affect him at the plate right now.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
So,
but I think
I like that, and I think he will grow in center. It's just we got growing pains.
I hope. Along the lines of what Alex said, and why I asked him, like he's got a long leash out there. Like the only way that this team's going to win is with Oneil Cruz playing center field and playing it well enough. So I there's going to be growing pains. We're going to have to go through them for a while, but you just got to kind of hope that the athleticism and the skill set and the drive gets him to a point where he's more playable out there. Because right now he is kind of borderline, like it's rough out there. -3 defensive run save, -2 outs above average, and it's 7 games. Like those aren't good numbers. Yeah, I expect him to get better.
And like, so I want to start this by saying like what Tyler was talking about, the maturity and such, right? And like I mentioned, like last year he would have done that at the plate. I feel like that's what's happening to him defensively this year. He's trying to. So again, like he knows and he loves his skill set, and he should. I mean, you should be prideful. You should be confident in what you can do. Like I understand that, but there's also a time where the mental game has to take over. You have to know when. You have to pick your spots. I'm gonna look at it as like a quarterback, right? You can be a gunslinger and you're throwing, interceptions in the red zone because you trust your arm too well, and you got to understand when to throw that ball and when not to, right? And I feel like Oneil right now he's got that gunslinger mentality. I have the talent. I can do anything, right? So he's trying to throw that guy out at home. I appreciate and like we see the arm, like it's damn good. Right? But you don't do that there. And it's like he's trying to do too much. He's trying to show his athleticism. He's trying to make the big play when it's not the correct play. Like he has been bad in the outfield, but it's not really physically. It's all mentally. So like when you say he's going to be good, he can be good, it's because of the physical stuff that he has. But he has to take the mental side. He has to improve. He has to mature there, because that's why he's -3 defensive run saves, -2 outs above average. Not because he physically can't handle center field, because mentally he's just trying to do way too much.
I think that might be part of it, but I also do think, like, okay, every now and then he gets a little lackadaisical. And I think part of that is because you're not as engaged in center field as you are at shortstop. You're involved in a lot of plays at shortstop. So I think that is part of it, where he's got to learn to lock in like he has a deplete to this point. You have to be engaged constantly. And I think that's part of the growing pains is in center field. There's a lot of times you're just kind of hanging out. You're running a little bit. That's all you're doing. So I think that's the next step for him as well. Is you mentioned the mental part. Part of it is it definitely is trying to do too much. I think we see that whenever he's throwing home when he really, really, really shouldn't be. And the other part of that is that he's just overthrowing dudes, because if he throws through the cut, he's fine. But I think it's just remaining engaged in the game in center field, because in the outfield, you're just not as engaged in a baseball game as you are at shortstop.
Yeah.
I mean, I know when I was playing Little League, the shortstop was never the one picking dandelions out of the outfield grass.
Yeah. I mean, like,
it's always the outfielder.
He looks like he's picking dandelions every now and then.
That's a good point, though, because again, like with him, he has that skill. He could every game he's able to show off that arm. Every game he has the opportunity to be on MLB as a highlight. Oh my God, Oneil Cruz threw it 99 miles an hour to the first. Look at that throw, and now he doesn't get those opportunities. So maybe, like you're saying, that there's a lot there to that.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to point it to a lackadaisical approach. I think I'm more pointing it towards he just doesn't have a good feel for the position yet. Like whenever that ball in the fence in left center field the other day, not hitting the cutoff man. Like I think he hasn't done it enough. Like he just needs more reps of, hey, when I'm standing by the fence, I can't just sling the ball directly to third base. I know I have a cannon, but like, the smart thing to do here is to hit the cutoff man. Whenever there's a ground ball up the middle and the guy's going to score, like don't charge that ball thinking you're going to get that guy home, because it's not going to happen. Just get the ball and get it back in. So I think it's just getting a better feel for the position, and hopefully that just comes with time.
I agree. So moving on here, we talk about the bullpen. Obviously, we know David Bednar is down in AAA, which I'm kind of shocked. I mean, this quick, this early, it leads me to believe it's kind of like what Alex was saying. There was a lot of talk. They liked what they saw out of Colin Holderman. I don't know what the word was and buzz around Bednar, but the fact that they're still talking by the end of spring training, well, the week left of it, like we still don't have a closer, it makes me feel as if maybe they didn't feel that comfortable with him, right? They saw some things out of Colin Holderman they liked. They probably didn't see the same thing out of Bednar, and that's probably what related to this happening so quickly. So with that being said, I mean, do we think that was a smart decision, starting off with Bednar, him going down to AAA? I know, Jim, we talked about Starbucks, maybe lower leverage, but then they said, you know what? AAA.
I don't know.
Oh, you want to go?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Alex brought up a good point there that I didn't really take into account, that you really only had 4 options. There's 4 players that you could have optioned. Paul Skeens, which wasn't happening. So then the 3 are Holderman, Bednar, Mlodzinski. Those were your choices. And if they really think Carmen Mlodzinski is a starter, then you're not optioning Carmen Mlodzinski. So then you're choosing between Holderman and Bednar. Personally, I think Bednar's the better pitcher. But I also understand, like, you got to get Bednar right first and foremost. And it's easier to do that in AAA than it would be at the major league level. Because at the major league level, like, the games matter. All of them matter. You can find lower leverage spots. But if you want to get the guy pitching multiple times, 3-4 times a week, it's tough to find those lower leverage spots sometimes. Whereas in AAA, you can go ahead and say, okay, David Bednar, you're pitching Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Like that's your schedule this week. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to pitch an inning all 4 of those days. Be ready. So it's a much more controlled environment for them to just get him right. And hopefully he's not down there very long. That's kind of my hope here. The good news is that, there's a comment here, like the lefties have all looked good. So like you've got some options in there, like the non-Bednar, non-Holderman relievers have all looked pretty good so far this season. So you just need that to continue for a little bit longer. And you need to give Bednar some reps where he doesn't have to feel the pressure and just figure out who he is again, because it's still there. It's still there. I saw a graphic today, Stuff Plus. His fastball is like the 4th best fastball in the major leagues right now. Just figure out you need to find your other pitches. You need to find what's going on with your splitter. You need to find what's going on with your curveball, because it doesn't matter how good your fastball is. We saw it with Ben Heller last year. It doesn't matter how good your fastball is. If you don't have anything else, then they're going to tee off on it, no matter how good it is. If you don't have to worry about your other pitches, they're going to tee off on your fastball. So figure out your other pitches so you can go back to being the David Bednar that you were before, because they need him. Like, they're not going to get through this year and accomplish the things that they want to accomplish if David Bednar isn't right.
Yeah, you're right. They absolutely need David Bednar to be good. Also, the Pirates' goal this year is to win baseball games. Derek Shelton said it. You're not winning baseball games with David Bednar in your bullpen right now. The way that he is right now, he has pitched in 3 games. He has gotten 3 outs. That's pathetic. We all love David Bednar. He's done a lot of good. He's been super valuable. But I'm sorry, man. You're not good enough to be a major league reliever right now. You have to go figure it out. And I liked what you said earlier, Jim, about putting some guys on notice. I like that as well. If David Bednar can be sent down, all of you can lose your jobs. That's the culture we've been looking for. The accountability we've been looking for. Colin Holderman should be right behind him. Because if you guys can't get outs at the major league level, you don't belong at the major league level. It's plain and simple. We have a bunch of guys that can't get outs, and they've shown it. The rest of the bullpen can do it. You two aren't. Get out.
Yep. I agree. I think it's more than just accountability, though. I mean, I like the fact that they did do it, and it does show accountability. But I think this serves dual purpose. I mean, I think it's best for David Bednar. Honestly, get him out of there. Just clear your mind. Get away. I don't know what it is. I think the stuff is still there. I still think there's a good pitcher there. Just get away. Clear your mind. Get out of here. You're still in a closer role, per se, in AAA. So, like, you're still doing the same thing, but you're facing AAA pitchers. You're just away from whatever the thing that's killing your confidence is. Maybe trying to get your – what's that?
You said AAA pitchers he's facing.
He's facing AAA hitters, not
okay,
pitchers.
Facing.
Yeah.
There we go.
He might face some pitchers. Who knows? But yeah, like, you're still in the same role. Get your confidence back. Get that confidence back. Come up here, and you're not hurting the Pirates in doing so. So again, I think it's the best decision. I thought they'd go with a lower leverage. I didn't think they would option him. I just didn't see that happening. And the fact that they did so quickly, like, kudos to them for that. So that's the case. Colin Holderman is still here. Like Alex said, they liked a lot that they saw from him in spring. Maybe this is just hey, it's 7 games, though. This is what worried you from last year as well. He has not looked all that good so far. So Colin Holderman is here. He looks shaky. Are we concerned with Holderman? Is this just, hey, it's 7 games, whatever? Or is it like, guys, I mean, I think Tyler made his point. He should be next soon. So
yeah,
sounds to me like our level of concern is up.
I am absolutely concerned with Holderman. The walks is the issue. And you saw this problem last year too. He's allowing too many base runners, and he's letting it, like, the first batter of every inning seems to be a walk for Colin Holderman. And when you're coming in and you're pitching in a 1-run game or a 2-run game, you just can't do that. Like, you need to let the other teams earn those runs off of you. And right now, Colin Holderman is giving teams too many runs. We saw it last year. We saw it this year. He's the home run rate is probably unsustainable. I mean, he has a 50% home run to fly ball rate right now. That's just not possible over the course of an entire season. So that will get better.
It's been 7 games.
Yeah, like that will get better. But like the walks, that's an issue. 4 walks in 3 2/3 innings, and a lot of those are coming early on in his outings. Like, those are eventually going to come around and score when the other team is showing urgency. Like, I need to get a run in here this inning. That's when you can't be doing that. He's got good stuff. He needs to trust his stuff. He needs to be around the zone. Right now, I can imagine why he doesn't trust his stuff, because when he does get into the zone, it's going over the fence. But he's got to trust his stuff. He's got to throw strikes, and he needs to get back to the way he was, pre-midsummer last year. I don't want to put him in an 8th or 9th inning anymore, though. Like, I think again, how we talked about finding more lower leverage situations. Colin Holderman needs some low leverage situations. I don't want him being the first option in a 1-run or 2-run game in the 8th inning.
My concern level is 100%. Like, plain and simple, he's been terrible. He was bad the late last year. We just see this with him. He goes through these stretches where he has no idea where the baseball is going, and the stuff still does play, but he's just so dang lanky. The mechanics never repeat themselves, and I think this is something that's going to happen with Colin Holderman for the majority of his career. He's not going to be a consistent enough guy that I question whether he can be an 8th and 9th inning guy long term, just because the consistency, I don't know if it will ever be there. But right now, the way it stands, he's killing them, man. Like, him and Bednar are killing this team. There's no other way to put it. And maybe the lower leverage situation is a better role. Maybe sending him down to the minors is a better option. I don't know what it is, but they can't pitch in the 8th or 9th right now.
So Nick asks, who does pitch in the 8th and 9th right now?
Well, I think they showed us Santana's first in line, and he did a solid enough job. I mean, hey, he was fantastic last year. Can't say enough things. We saw him in spring. We see him now in the first part of this year. I mean, to me, Santana's getting the options at closer. I mean, he might play some matchups, of course. I don't think he's dubbed the closer, but I think he'll get the majority of the chances at this point in time. Barucki looks good though too.
Yeah, I think you just play the matchups.
I agree. I think if you're going to be facing more righties, Santana's your guy. Like, if you're going right-handed pitcher, then Santana's your guy. But right now, I trust Ferguson and Barucki both kind of equally to handle that spot if you need to get those big outs also. Kind of just depending on the situation and who you're facing.
Agreed.
I agree. I think it'll be more matchup based, like you say, too. Again, with Santana getting the majority of them. But and I think it's the thing too, like at this point in time, I feel pretty confident with those guys. Way more confident than I do with Bednar and Holderman. And it just is what it is. But also, like, it's not just those 3 guys. They're like Wentz has shown to look pretty solid so far. Lawrence, I mean, given him time, he didn't have a whole lot of time in spring. You haven't seen too much from him, but there's reasons to have some confidence in him and being a reliever. So again, like Tyler said at the beginning of the show, like the bullpen has actually been pretty solid outside of Holderman and Bednar. So I guess that's a positive side to this. Hey, your 2 dogs are struggling mightily. Ones are in AAA, but the rest look pretty good. The other thing I want to say in here just sucks. It just sucks. And it goes back to the whole thing, but Carter Majinski looked damn good for those 2 innings. And the weapon he could be in that bullpen. No,
yeah,
he looked
like a reliever.
2 innings.
I thought he looked
third
good for 3. I thought he looked really good for 3 innings.
Okay,
The 4th inning is when he sucked.
Maybe then, but at either rate, he looked like a damn good reliever.
Sure did.
So
he did.
He could be a nice option here shortly, soon, hopefully, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. They seem kind of set on him starting, though. I mean,
Yeah.
especially with what Alex said there. Like,
Yeah.
Majinski's still going to start, and if Harrington's going to hang around too, Harrington is another bullpen option for you. I just don't like Harrington's stuff out of the bullpen as much as
I don't either.
Majinski's
Flip
either.
them too, please.
Yeah, I would
understand.
swap those, but yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see.
You're taking a starter, put him in the reliever, taking the reliever and put him as a starter. Look, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
All right. So let's kind of move on then. We talked about the bullpen here. Just touch real quickly. IKF. Now, maybe it's a him thing. Maybe it's just a whole team thing. I mean, everyone's still on bases right now, but IKF has, 4 stolen bases? Already has surpassed his last year total, I believe. He had a little touch on that. He wanted to get faster. He's doing NFL combine stuff in the offseason. I mean, are we making something of this from IKF?
All I'll say on IKF is, again, he's one of the few position players actually helping this team, which is refreshing. 4 stolen bases, couldn't be happier there. I mean, he's all singles, but I mean, he's hitting 333. He's getting on base with some walks. He's already walked more this season than he did in his entire Pirates tenure last year. So yeah, I mean, so far, really good start to the season. I don't think we can expect Isiah Kiner-Falefa to put up a 137 weighted runs created plus. So I don't know how sustainable this is. He's a 389 BABIP. So yeah, there's going to be some regression here. But yeah, so far you gotta like what you're seeing out of IKF. He's, again, not somebody that we were very excited about going into the season with the role that he's had, but he has so far played decent shortstop, and he's been one of the very few bright spots at the plate.
Yeah, I mean,
Agree.
The whole team is doing well at stealing bases right now. It's the one bright spot right now, is that they're running well.
Running well, starting pitching also looks really good.
Yeah.
2 bright spots, but that's pretty much where it ends.
Offensively,
Alexander
that's the only-
Canario. There it is. Alexander Canario. So the Pirates make a trade. They go to the Mets. They send cash. Everyone, I'm going to repeat myself. The Pirates sent money to the New York Mets to land the player, Alexander Canario. And then, corresponding, he's on the roster now. Corresponding move, as we mentioned earlier, G1 Bay sent down Jason DeLay. Traded to the Atlanta Braves officially as well, altogether today. But my question to you guys is a couple here. Do we like the trade? First off, I mean, again, like, because you can Taylor say it's year 6. I know a lot of Pirates fans, like, it's year 6 and this is what we're doing, right? Alexander Canario. I mean, do we like the trade as it stands? For one, what's our idea on it? And is there like a realistic role for Canario in this team?
No.
Boom.
No,
Jim.
I'd rather have Jason DeLay.
Okay.
So there were 2 outfielders kind of DFA'd at the exact same time, Alexander Canario and Stuart Fairchild. I think I probably would have preferred, like, if we're talking about a G1 Bay replacement, I think I probably would have preferred Fairchild. The issue is that whenever you DFA somebody and multiple teams are interested and can make a trade, you can choose who to trade that person to. And so the Reds traded Fairchild to a team that wasn't in the NL Central, and the Mets traded Canario to a team that wasn't in the NL East. So, I mean, I got to imagine the Pirates were probably kicking the tires on Fairchild too, because he's kind of a similar, like, he fits a similar mold in that he can play center field, he can play the corner outfielders. Corner outfield, he's at least like competent. He's a very lower tier major league ball player. I think with Canario, not really optimistic with how he's going to perform, but there is some upside here. Like, there is upside potential with Alexander Canario. He's got a ton of power, a ton of it. He hit 37 homers in 2022, spread out over 3 levels at age 22. 18 homers last year in 64 games in AAA for the Iowa Cubs. We saw him hit a grand slam against the Pirates, in his major league debut. He can hit the ball over the fence, and he like, that's his calling card. Now, the issue is his hit tool sucks. He strikes out all the time. He doesn't have very good bat to ball skills. Runs okay, fields meh. I mean, he's a corner outfielder who swings for the fences every time, and sometimes he'll go over the fence. Sometimes he'll strike out. I think with this, you're just kind of hoping for either lightning in a bottle or just like something to click. Like that's kind of just what you're hoping for. But from an upside standpoint, offers a lot more upside than Ji-Hwan Bae. And this team is desperate for people who can hit the ball over the fence. They're not desperate for players like Ji-Hwan Bae, because Ji-Hwan Bae can't do anything. But Canario can at least do one thing. And it's a thing that the Pirates need. So yeah, why not? I mean, if you're forcing me to make the decision, do you want Alexander Canario or Ji-Hwan Bae? Give me Canario and see what he can do. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out.
I would have rather just got rid of Ji-Hwan Bae and then kept Jason Delay, the guy that's actually been a productive major leaguer in his career, though.
Well, you need an outfielder.
I mean, they didn't get one with Canario either. So he can't hit. He cannot hit. Like
Neither can Delay. I mean,
he has at least kind of done it at a major league level and been a valuable.
Canario, I mean, you can say in Canario's limited playing time, he's hit the ball.
And like 5 at bats.
45.
Sorry, I was off by 40. But
he has.
But yeah, Jim, you did mention like he does one thing that the Pirates need. He hits the ball over the fence. The one thing he doesn't do that the Pirates need is hit the baseball. He can't hit. I don't want another guy that can't hit on this team. And
he's right-handed Jack Suwinski.
Honestly, it's a big old nothing burger. Like he probably won't be here that long. But
yeah, but
he's a quality player.
More fit.
I agree with you. Like I don't think he's a major league ball player. Like long term. Player. But there is upside here, and you got to hope you catch lightning in a bottle. I think that's just where I'm at.
I'd rather have Jason Delay in the organization.
So let me spin it this way.
Delay doesn't give you anything right now. He wasn't even going to play in AAA. I kind of
disagree, but also the sense like there's Endy, there's Henry, there's Bart. I mean,
you can go out there and find a Jason Delay anywhere, anytime.
I don't think you can.
Yeah,
you can find a Canario anywhere. There are a bunch of
they traded Delay for $100,000 cash. Like he's a dime a dozen
Canario for same
right. Like, they're all just dime a dozen catcher. Like these Jason Delay isn't some commodity, is what I'm saying.
But here's what I want to say, and I want to get your viewpoint on this here also, because I understand this isn't the same situation. Obviously, I know they need an outfielder, but let's also talk about this. The White Sox picked up Palacios today as well. Would you guys rather have Canario or Palacios?
I'll take Palacios. I will 100% take Palacios.
Jim?
I'd flip a coin.
Okay. I guess it's like this is where I'm going is I would rather take Canario in this situation. More because, and again, maybe it's just me. I love the guy. I love Joshua Palacios, the human being, like an amazing, excellent human being from what I know of him. With that said, I don't love him as a baseball player. I just never have. I never got it. The guy's gonna be 30 years old. Like he's still funny. He signed a minor league deal with the Chicago White Sox. Like even the White Sox were like, nah. I'm going to put you in the minor leagues. So for like a lot of the people that are like, oh my God, I can't believe they got rid of Joshua Palacios. Like, again, to put perspective, the Chicago White Sox were like, yeah, you're not quite White Sox material. Let's start you out in the minor leagues first. Canario's younger. He's got skills. Again, does it translate? It's like the Ji-Hwan Bae. Like he has skills. Does it translate to a Major League Baseball player? Not yet. Not really. But maybe something clicks. I would rather have him just because of the upside. And that's just where I'm at with it. Like it is a whatever move. I don't see a vision of him being part of this team this year, especially the part of the future. But like, hey, why not kick the tires on this? There's talent. Can we cultivate the talent to turn into something? And again, it's an improvement right now of Ji-Hwan Bae. I'll take it for now. There's not much in the outfield for this organization. Again, that's where the delay thing comes in. Now there is a Henry, there is Endy, there's Bar. Like you imagine, you might not really need delay that often this year, but like when it comes to outfield depth, what really is there in this organization? So I don't hate it. It is what it is. Didn't cost anything other than cash, and I guess Jason delay.
Yeah,
But
two of those three
it is what it is.
Suck behind the plate.
The biggest problem is the fact that like they're making this move and this guy's on the roster right away.
Yeah.
And we're talking about
he's gonna start tomorrow. He's gonna start in the home opener.
Yeah, you know what? I'm changing my mind. I'm not flipping a coin. I'm taking Canario over Palacios.
same, but it doesn't
I'm
mean
not.
much to me.
It doesn't move the needle, but it is.
Mm-mm.
It's something. It's better than Bay.
That I'll agree with.
All right. So the Pirates improved.
I mean, you could put me on the field.
All right, guys. So tomorrow is the home opener. We kind of asked Alex about it. Let's talk a little bit about it right here. 4:12 first pitch. How are we feeling? What's going to happen tomorrow? I feel like this fan base is the most frustrated it's been in a long time.
I feel like a lot of fans didn't live through 19 or 20 straight losing seasons, and it shows. But to their defense, like it's been bad now for 6-7 years. There's not really any signs of it getting better. Fans deserve to be extremely frustrated with what they're seeing right now. There's just the things that you were promised would get better aren't getting better. And we're 6 years into this regime, and it was a rebuild that I didn't think had to happen, but it did happen. And now you're 6 years into it, and you're seeing that the rebuild doesn't really seem to be working. They lucked into the best pitcher of all time, fam. But what did they do this offseason? They went out there and got Tommy Pham and Spencer Horwitz and Adam Frazier.
Yep.
It's understandable that people are really, really upset right now. There's going to be a plane circling the ballpark saying sell the team. They're going to announce this team during introductions. And honestly, thank God David Bednar is not here, because I feel like fans for some reason are they're piling on that guy. And I don't think it kind of makes me sick, the kind of hate that he's getting, because guys, he's from here. Like he's one of us, and he's been really good for a long time. And like I am rooting so hard for him to figure it out, because I want him to be good so bad. So I'm happy that he's not going to be here, because I feel like he would get a good amount of boos. Colin Holderman, when he gets announced, there's going to be some boos there. Tommy Pham, I could see some boos there. Derek Shelton, when he comes out of that dugout, boos. Like, I think with opening day, like there's going to be some positivity. So like the Skeens and the McCutcheons, like people will cheer there. They better hope that they don't like get blown out though. Like if this game tomorrow ends up being a laugher, where the Yankees with their torpedo bats, which we'll get to here in a second too, if the Yankees just start launching torpedoes all over the outfield walls,
which is literally what they did against the Milwaukee Brewers
on the field. Yeah, fans might start throwing stuff on the field. It might get real bad. So hopefully they have a good performance tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't care. Boo them all. I don't care. I don't care if they deserve it or not. Boo them. If you feel like you want to boo, go for it. Just let the team know. I don't care anymore. I can't even pretend to care about their feelings. Stop sucking. Losers.
Well,
loser. You're all a bunch of losers.
I mean, I get what you're saying, Jim, about like haven't lived through the 20 years. And that's That's possible. But I feel like for the 20 years, you never really had any expectations. You hoped like, hey, can this team ever get above 500? Can they break the curse? But I don't think there was many times where it's like next year needs to be the year. Like there's this, that. Let's think about again, like, and why is this year so important? Like, why do we keep talking about? It's because of Paul Skeens. It's because of Paul Skeens. You have a guy like Paul Skeens. You got to be good. You got to do this. They never had anyone to Paul Skeens' level in those 20 years. The closest was Andrew McCutcheon, and then they did it. You know what I mean? Like they did it. They got into the playoffs with him. You have Paul Skeens, and you just everything. It's just like everything that the fan base said they should do, they didn't do. And the fan base said they should do this because here's your problems. And in these 7 games, all they've done is prove that the fan base was correct. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm not saying like playoffs are over. It's not me overreacting, saying there's no shot of the playoffs are correct. But what I'm saying is so far, that's what the fan base has seen. So now they get to take these 7 games worth of frustration to home now for the opener. And yeah, I think they're going to let them have it. We'll find out. And yes, it's opening day, and I think vibes will still be high overall. It's a great day. It's a great experience. But I think you're going to see more and hear more boos than you normally do. And I don't think the vibes will remain high if this game gets out of hand soon, which there's a lot of potential it could. And it could get real ugly, just like Jim said. Because the Yankees look really good. And the Yankees look really good because they spend a lot of money. They got a good lineup. And they have torpedo bats. So let's talk about that. What the hell are torpedo bats? Why are they legal? And why don't all the Pirates have them?
Yeah, so I've got a visual here. So this is for my friends at Louisville Slugger. You know what? Let me see if I can do this. I want to do this. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Here we go. So on a normal bat, there's your barrel, right?
Yep.
The torpedo bats move the barrel like down to here. So what that does is that, you know, whenever you hit the ball here, so in a normal bat, you're going to get jammed. The ball's not going to go out very hard. With the torpedo bats, you're now hitting the ball on the barrel if you hit it right here. So it's interesting because it's probably something like it's not going to work for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm amazed no one's thought of this before. Because the rule, the rule is just you can't have it thicker than a certain amount, a certain diameter. Like it doesn't tell you where that thickness needs to be. So you can make whatever part of the bat thick that you want to. I think just what's interesting is, I mean, you have the analytics now where, hey, you know what? I tend to get jammed a little bit more than normal. So what if I just move the barrel down on the bat so I hit the fat part of the bat more? I think every single player who has a propensity of getting jammed should be using one of these things.
Jim, I know you were joking earlier with your Jared Triolo tweet. I actually kind of buy it. Like, I think Jared Triolo is the perfect candidate for this. He's a big, lanky guy. Like, if he can barrel things on the inside part of the plate, he doesn't have elite bat speed. So if that can help him get to more pitches, like he's a good candidate for that. I think Oneil Cruz is kind of up there. Maybe not the super torpedo, but like you could play with it a little bit there. I'm with you though. I don't know why other people haven't thought of it, and also I don't get why
Cruz has one. Just throw out there.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him use it yet, but apparently he has one.
But the other anybody complaining about it, just pitch better. Throw the outside part of the plate. Like figure it out. It's not like they have a bigger barrel now. It's just moved.
Yeah, it's one of those things like Jim said, like when this first came out, I'm like, that's dirty. Like what's going no, it's just cheating. But really it's within the rules. Like it's not cheating, it's within the rules. But it's like one of those things where it's like, do they just not think of this? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you never had the foresight that this could be a thing. So you never like made this a rule to break. But all in all, like it's not really different. Like you said, you're just moving the barrel of the bat. I don't really see how this would be cheating. It's just thinking differently, you know?
You're using a different golf club.
Yeah. I don't it's just weird because it's new. And of course the Yankees were the highlight of it, you know, and going to Anthony Volpe, which also is funny because Anthony Volpe currently right now with the game going on has 5 hits on the season, 4 of them being home runs. But that's it. And then he has the single tonight. Still striking out 27% of the time, batting 208. At any rate, though, so yeah, it's just different. But like, honestly, the pitchers have had such an advantage year over year. I mean, I feel like a lot of it. I mean, yes, I know baseball's changed, but everyone talks about batting average and this and that. But it's like, you know, it's so damn hard to hit these days because look at all the stuff to the pitchers. Like, look at the tools they have to them. Look what they're doing. I mean, pitchers are tremendous this day and age, and they have so many advantages to them. And it's like maybe finally something falls into the batter's way that there's an advantage they can take effect with. So, like, you know what? Sure, kudos to the hitters. And like, if is this going to be a bad thing because it allows some guys who aren't that good offensively right now currently to be better offensively? Isn't that what the game's trying to get? Is more offense? Could this help that? Yeah. Like is this bad for the game? Let's ask. I mean, is this bad for the game to have this bad here?
Absolutely,
Do you think, Jim?
not. They're
Do you
just
think, Tyler?
it's just changing your
different.
equipment. It's just a different, like it's like putting on a different glove. It's like wearing a 13-inch glove instead of a 12-inch glove. Like it's just it's all within the confines of the rules, and it's tailoring it to how you specifically can perform best. I mean, when you're pitching and you're on the mound, you get to throw from whatever arm slot you want. Like it's not like there's a rule that
whatever
says
side of the rubber you want.
You got to throw over top. You can, yeah, like there are rules to baseball, but you can play the game however you want as long as it's within those rules. So, no, I think this is really cool. And I one of the questions I want to ask is like, is this a fad or is this like the beginning of a trend that we're about to see where we're going to start seeing half of Major League Baseball players use this stuff? I think this is like the beginning of we may be seeing like the beginning of a new age of hitting equipment where it's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to swing 1,000 times and let's figure out where I make contact the most and let's make that the fattest part of the bat. Like it just makes sense. And it's incredible that we've been playing this game for 150 years and we're really just now thinking of that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, this is within the confines of the rules, and we've seen Major League Baseball literally change the rules. They've made bases bigger. They've banned the shift. This is legitimately within the rules. You're not actually changing the game here. So, yeah, this should not be banned. Shouldn't anything like that silly. And if you don't like it, adjust. It's that simple. Throw cutters. I don't know what to tell you. Throw the outside part of the blade. Sorry, you can't throw in on the hands. And you know what it might do? Maybe it helps the game because guys aren't getting hit on the hands so much. Because now guys can't throw inside constantly. Maybe we have less broken hands. I don't know.
But again, yeah, like this could, without MLB intervening, like this could help out offense. And that's what MLB is trying to achieve anyways. So like this could be actually good for the game. And again, it's not cheating. But I look at this also, it's just kind of funny. All you're doing is moving the barrel, right? It's not as if like the barrel's gotten twice the size now, right? It's the same size, it's just a different place. NBA, regulation size basketball court. It's all the same. Soccer, all the same. Football, all the same. Why is baseball unique? Every ballpark's different. This is baseball. This is literally baseball. It's just another unique thing that like, hey, not every bat is the same. They can be different. They're all in the regulations though. They're all the same. It can't be any wider. Can't be double the size in the normal bats. It's the same. It's just a different spot. That's baseball. That's the beauty of baseball. So like, I like this. And to Jim's point, baseball is nothing but fads. You know, I mean, when the Royals built that bullpen, that's all you saw. Every team afterwards, let's build this bullpen. Let's shorten the game. It's nothing but fads. And, you know, you are seeing this bat being spread out through different teams and different players. It's not just the Yankees. Let's make that clear as well on the show, even though it kind of has been. So if you're going to find people have success with it, you're going to find other players like a Jared Chiolo who's struggling. And also mentally, think about this in your guys' sakes as well. I mean, none of us were professionals, but anything you did in sports, this give me an edge, right? I'm failing. Well, I'm failing because I don't have this bat. That's why I'm failing. So I need the bat. This will make me better, right? Mentally, you're probably thinking that as well. So I think this is absolutely a fad because there'll be a lot of players that think this is what's going to fix them. This is what's going to do it, and they're going to attach to it. And I think there is some truth to it. Now, I don't think it's going to make Jared Chiolo like an MVP caliber player.
Yes, it will.
But it could help him.
I just know that like if I'm not consistently hitting barrels, which means if my name isn't Oneil Cruz or Andrew McCutchen, I'm trying one of these bats.
Yeah, why not? Or doing what you said earlier, get in the cage, take 1,000 swings, and let's figure this out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, why not make your equipment fit yourself? It only makes sense.
Yep. But I mean, you look just so last year, for example, Bryan Hayes 1.8% barrels, Isiah Kiner-Falefa 1.8% barrels, Jared Chiolo 3.4% barrels. If you can change those numbers and just increase them a little bit, that makes a big difference in your offensive output. So like if you are not barreling the ball, try something else. And if this is something else that might work, then if I'm one of those three guys I just mentioned, Nick Gonzales, throw him in there, throw Bryan Reynolds in there too. If you're one of those guys, I'm trying this and seeing how it works. And if I get, like Jack Suwinski said in Noah's article, if I get one good swing off with this thing in a cage, I'm taking it into a game.
Bryan Hayes is definitely a guy that could benefit from this, though. He gets jammed.
Maybe it
so
helps
much.
with his back.
He does get jammed so much. I don't know. Hey, it's worth a try.
But also, like the thing we're talking a little bit too, maybe that helps with his back. Again,
bring on the torpedoes.
Bring them on.
Bring them on.
And the Pirates were ahead of the curve. They were throwing cutters.
The Pirates did this.
Hey, and the Pirates are a seafaring mascot. So if there's any team that would be well equipped to handle torpedoes, it's the Pirates.
Yeah, well, that statement's not going to bode well for the image I have created tomorrow if it doesn't go well for the Pirates.
Remember what was it? The score. They need to bring back that scoreboard video before games where with the cannonballs.
Yes.
Just replace it with torpedoes.
Yes.
Be torpedoing other teams' boats on the Allegheny. All
right, guys.
That's what
let's wrap this thing up then. So within a few hours, it'll be officially tomorrow. It'll be officially home opener. 4:12, Pirates take on the Yankees. Mitch Keller gets to start. I'm excited though. Pirates, though, they need to get this thing together, and it's gonna be a tough opponent to do it against. So there's that. But all right. So is that it? We out.
Cutter comes back tomorrow.
Yeah, I say vibes are low right now, but hey, you take 2 out of 3 against the Yankees, and
we're back.
We're back. Baby.
We're so back.
Still, I have to reiterate. Just bring it back up because Tyler said it. Mitch Keller brings back the Cutters.
And you guys need to keep believing.
On that note, we are definitely out of here. We'll be back tomorrow, NS9 post-game show immediately after the game. Hopefully, we're giving out some sandwiches. We've given out 8 sandwiches so far, 2 wins. So hopefully tomorrow can make 12. So go ahead and join us after the show. We will see you guys then. Bye-bye.
Peace out, Girl Scouts.
See you guys. All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.